Whether you're a doomsday prepper, a thrifty homesteader, or simply someone looking to run a mid-scale outdoor event, you might find the AllPowers S1500 solar generator quite useful. Like many power stations, this device allows you to use your home appliances on the go, and also comes with the ability to charge many things, from USB-A devices all the way up to USB-C, and even using car cigarette charger ports. It's a relatively compact piece of kit, but does also come with front lights and app control to give you perfect reports about what you're using and what you're generating. But does it stand up to our rigorous field testing? I'm William Worrell with MakeUseOf.com, and today we're looking at the AllPowers S1500 solar generator. The AllPowers S1500 solar generator is a portable power station with 4 AC outputs, 3 USB-A ports, 1 PD100 watt fast charging compatible USB-C port, 2 DC 12 barrel connectors, and a DC 12 volt cigarette lighter port. It also comes with a wall adapter for easy charging and accepts input through a DC barrel connector, a standard Anderson cable, and even through the PD100 watt USB-C port on the other side. The 200 watt solar panel being used in this review is one of several different versions available bundled with the unit. You can select any panels ranging from 100 watts up to 400 watts, though the S1500 will only accept up to 300 watts of energy from solar sources at any given time. One of the key features of the unit is its use of a pure sine wave inverter for the AC power. In lots of regular power stations, inverters often operate at around 85% efficiency, meaning that for every 1000 watt hours of capacity you have, you'll only actually get around 850 watt hours of use while on AC power. The pure sine wave version is considerably more efficient, clocking in this unit at around 90 to 95% efficiency, meaning you can use AC powered devices for much longer. Charging time is pretty decent, depending on what system you're using. According to the manual, the optimum charging time with all 300 watts of solar power would be about 3 to 4 hours for a full battery. In my experience, this is pretty close to accurate, though only if you're accounting for British weather. Leaving out the panel and station throughout the course of a sunny day had the station fully charged in around 6 to 7 hours. Obviously, that does include a fair amount of shuffling the panels around to get them into the right amount of sunlight, and various times when the sun just disappeared completely. It's also not too difficult to set up or get charging. The ports are colour-coded and one-way up only, so it's difficult to accidentally reverse the polarity. You simply plug it in, and the screen on the front will immediately start reporting how much power you're currently generating. Assuming it's, actually sunny enough to generate anything at all. The only difficulty you might have is with getting the stands on the back of the panel to stay up. If you're putting this panel up alone, propping up the stands on the back is a total nightmare. As you go down the line, previous stands just keep falling down. It's great as a Benny Hill bit, but not so much when you're trying to pop up the solar panel in a hurry. While the S1500 is pretty easy to set up and use, it's relatively average in many other respects. It weighs in at around 26 pounds or about 12 kilograms, which is pretty much what you might expect for a device with this kind of capacity of around 1 kilowatt hour and an inverter of this size. While that makes it great if you're planning a road trip or driving to your campsite, any sort of manual travel with this will be rough. If you're looking for something to take on camping trips that involve a lot of hiking, you'll probably want a dolly or something similar to make lugging it around a bit more simple. That said, it's definitely possible to take this thing out with you by hand if you are determined enough, and the added utility of the lights on the front make it worth bringing to any outdoor events with poor lighting conditions. Not only are the lights pretty bright, but they also don't cost too much power and can be controlled remotely if you need to be able to turn them on in the dark. That last feature is thanks to the ability to pair the station up with the AllPowers app on an iPhone or Android device. This app connectivity is incredibly bare bones, but it does get the job done. You connect by holding down the power button for a few seconds to enable the feature, and then adding your power station in the AllPowers app itself. The app lets you turn the lights on or off, and enable or disable the AC and DC power. There's not much else going on for the app other than reporting how much power is coming in or going out of the station, but it does get the job done most of the time. Once or twice the numbers the app were reporting were completely inaccurate, but disconnecting and reconnecting it tended to fix it relatively quickly, so at worst it's a minor bugbear. There are also a few nice design bonuses. For instance, the handle has a very nice rubber grip underneath, so carrying it isn't too difficult. There are also 4 grooves on the top that share a design shape with the rubber feet on the bottom of the unit, making it possible to stack a few together if you happen to have more than one. The weight and size are relatively average for a station with this kind of capacity, so at the very least you can be sure it's going to fit relatively snugly into your boot without monopolising trunk space. The screen on the front is also very useful for imparting information quickly and simply, though it does have a slight issue. The panel displays how much power is going in or out of the battery, as well as which devices are being used between AC, DC and USB, whether Bluetooth is turned on, all those kind of things. The problem is that it can't show the amount of power going into and out of the device at the same time, so what it does instead is defaults to only showing the power being outputted and not the power being inputted. If you have an output device plugged in and an input device, you will never know how much power you're generating or losing. You can fix this by connecting your Bluetooth and using the app, but it's kind of a stanky workaround when they could have just used the real estate of the screen a little tiny bit better. As you might be able to guess from the name, the S1500 is rated for up to 1500 watts output at once. Fortunately, the S1500 also comes packed with safety features and will automatically shut down the AC output if you try and troll too much. The device also allows for up to 3000 watts of peak usage, so you can be sure that when you're plugging devices in and starting them up, you'll still be safe even if they experience a temporary watt surge. So, what sort of things can it run, and what can't it run? It won't manage something like an air fryer unless you have a particularly small one. That said, it will run something like a medium-sized pressure cooker or a single hot plate, and it'll run something along the lines of this for about an hour, though I should stress it's not really designed for that sort of use. If you were to run those kind of devices for an hour, it would almost completely drain the battery, and it's a good idea to keep at least some charge inside if you want the battery to last as long as possible. On the plus side, that 1500 watt rating is great for running a multitude of devices at the same time. So, for instance, you could run a PS1 and a TV in the park for several hours without even getting near to running the battery down, especially when combined with the ability to charge the battery at the same time as using the power station, if you can get the solar panel set up on your own. In fact, for a lot of my testing with these older systems and a low energy TV screen, you can generally get more charge into the device than you're using, at least on sunny days. If you do plan to use it primarily as a phone or a laptop charging station, you should be pleasantly surprised. On an average laptop battery, you'll get quite a number of charges, around 15 to 20 from full capacity. You'll probably get between 100 and 200 charges on a phone with the even more efficient DC charging, although that will depend on the battery capacity and its charging efficiency. In all truth, the S1500 does feel like it's trapped in kind of an awkward position. While it can supply a huge amount of power, the capacity of the battery is not big enough to make it a real utility for high-powered devices or pretty much anything with a decent heating element. And you can't even expand the battery, so there's nowhere to go from there. Sure, if you're looking to run a very low consumption van life, or you just want it to run the occasional event, it's probably going to be right up your street. But for beginners, it's too premium, and for experienced users, it just feels like it's missing out on the capacity that some of those people might need to run their daily devices. By far the best use of the device seems to be keeping secondary devices charged, like phones and laptops. So if you say live in a van or on a boat and do most of your heating and cooking using gas or other fuel sources, this device would be perfect for keeping all of your personal devices topped up and even running certain devices, low-powered ones like Echo units and things like that, for 24 hours straight without worrying. So, while it's not a station for anyone hoping to generate enough power to go off-grid for their entire life, it is much more suitable for hosting outdoor events or taking onto trips that keep your addiction to electronics topped off while you're enjoying the wilderness. The panel is easy to set up, at least it's easy to connect to the box and get working, and the simple features might feel bare bones to an advanced user, but they're perfect for someone investing in their first station. The price is a little high for a unit that feels this bare bones in terms of features, but most of that is probably to do with the high efficiency inverter that has been included in the package. With that in mind, the use case becomes a little clearer. If you're planning on primarily running medium to low draw AC devices, having a station that can supply power this efficiently is 100% worth your time, though it will run you a slight premium compared with more budget friendly stations that use regular inverters. Basically, as long as you want to play a lot of Tomb Raider 3 in the park, then you're golden. Thanks to AllPowers for sending us the S1500 unit for review, and a big thanks to you for watching it as well. If you enjoyed the video, please like it to help it grow and subscribe to see more. You can also check the links in the description to go to the MUO website where you will find so many more articles and features on technology and understanding it better.